And now we are recording. Okay. So right now, you guys see Ladybug. Woohoo! Hi. And we are going to be drawing mountains today. I'm going to show you guys how to create something called space. And I don't mean like rocket ships and stars. I mean like, how do you make something on a flat piece of paper look like it's really far away? That's hard. So there are a couple of things that you can do. One is where things are on your paper. So we do something in art class called here, near, and far. So if I do here, near, and far, I'm going to draw with a dark pencil, I hope. Let me see. I think I still have some in there. All right. I'm going to try and draw with a darker pencil. That should work. Okay. I want to be able to erase those. So let's grab, let me try this one. And if this one doesn't work, then I will break my own rule. Oh, nope, that's colored pencil. I'll break my own rule and I'll go with a marker first. I don't like to do that because then I can't erase what I don't want. So I really don't like to work with marker first. But here, near, and far. So if I'm sitting right here, things are up close to me, right? If something is near to me, Ben might be near to me, right? And Sydney might be considered far away from me. If I was in Sydney's seat, Jake would be near, right? Sydney would be here. Jake would be near, and Shelby would be far from Sydney. So I've got to take a look and see, but on my paper, I can't make it go into the back of the room, right? I have to create an optical illusion, a trick of the eye. So one of the things that I can do is anything at the bottom of the paper looks like it's near to me. Anything in the middle of the paper I got that backwards. I'm sorry. Anything at the bottom of the paper looks like it's right here with me, like it's right in my lap. Here. Anything kind of in the middle of the paper looks like it's near to me, but it's not as close. And anything towards the top of the paper would be far. So as it gets away from me on the table, that's how I'm going to make my trick work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and let's say from far away I have some mountains. So if I grab mountains in here, let's draw some mountains. All right, I'm going to grab my marker, and I'm going to draw in purple. I hate to draw in marker because then I can't erase it later, but you'll get the idea. Can you see them now? Okay, so those would be far away, right? They look really, really tiny on my paper, but if they're supposed to be mountains, I know they're only tiny because they're really far away. If I have something that's near to me in the middle of my paper, maybe it's a house. Maybe it's a house. And maybe I've got a chimney here, so it would cross the line. So that's another thing I can do. I can do overlapping, which means putting things on top of each other. Or maybe I have something that's near. Maybe I've got a garden. You see how it gets smaller as I go? Maybe my garden's here. Maybe I have some plants in my garden. Shh. Don't worry, my marker makes enough sound effects for everybody. So maybe I've got something growing in my garden. And maybe if it's here, maybe I have a rabbit that came up and is peeking in my camera. This is a big rabbit. Well, you know why he's big? Because he's really close to me. So the things that are closer are going to look very close and very big. The things that are really far away, so if I had a person out here, that person might not only be that big. I might not even see that person because they're so far away. So I have on Google Classroom something on how to draw mountains. Whoops.
Oh, I know.
Let me grab that. I just posted it for you. How to draw a mountain. So if you take a look at this, and I'm going to let you guys play with this a little bit, you're going to see on here that there's different squares. Each of these is a step. So if I come here, there's going to be different steps for how I draw this. So I'm going to grab a new piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how I draw this mountain picture.
Just use the back of that paper.
I could, except you'd see the marker through it, and then that gets confusing. Otherwise, I would. You're absolutely right, Crew. I could flip it over because it's just a practice one, right? So I could flip it over and use the back. The only problem with that is Ladybug doesn't always know the difference. There we go. There's a Dark Start pencil. Let's try that one. This one should erase. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze this over here on the side. And I'm going to bring Ladybug over here. And you guys can see me do both things at once. Maybe. There we go. All right, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. All right, I'm going to do one at a time anyway, so that's okay. All right, so you see this one right here? So this one says draw a horizon line. A horizon line is somewhere where everything gets so small, it disappears because it's so small you can't see it anymore. So I'm just going to draw a line across my paper. It doesn't even have to be a straight line because remember, hills aren't straight. Oh, Ladybug froze. That's why you can't see it. Hang on. That's an easy fix too. I'll flip it over to show you again. Ladybug's this one. Yeah, Ladybug's this little camera here. Bluebird's at home in case I need it at home. I'll bring it back another time, but right now I have Bluebird at home in case I need to stay home, so we'll see. All right, it's a camera. It's just another type of camera. All right, so I have a line, and it could be something that's a little bumpy because remember, hills aren't flat. If they were flat, they wouldn't be hills. So that's going to be my horizon line. So there's going to be a point where everything gets so small I can't see it anymore. So this is step number one. Anything in pink is where I'm drawing the new lines. So right here, I'm going to draw a road. So if this is where everything vanishes, this is called our vanishing point. I'll put VP to make sure we know where that's at. Vanishing point. Hi, Chevy. What you need?
An extra turkey.
An extra turkey? I do. 1 second here. Turkey lurkey. All right, so I've got this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and do you see how on this one, it comes out to the corners of my paper? I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to come to the corner of my paper and to the corner of my paper. Now it looks like I'm standing in the middle of the road, and the road goes a long way into the hills. So now if I look at the next one, I'm going to make the double lines in the center of the road. So maybe they start right here and they come down, but they're going to get wider apart as they come to see me. See how they're really tiny here and they're really far apart here? Or on the next one, see how there's trees here? Here's what I'm going to do. In order to do my trees, if you take a look, see how the trees cross the horizon line? They're going to overlap. That means it's going to make them look like they're in front of the horizon line. So what I'm going to do is I can do these any way I want to. Maybe I want to make an apple tree. And I'm going to make a line that comes like this. See those two lines that go back to my vanishing point? This one right here and this one right here. I'm going to keep my trees inside of those lines. Watch what happens. I'm going to start right here with an apple tree that's nice and big. So there's my apple tree. And then on the next one, I'm going to make it a little smaller, but it's still going to stay inside the lines. And then on the next one, it's going to get a little smaller, but it's still going to stay inside my lines. And then it's going to get a little smaller, and eventually it's going to get so small I can barely see them. Or maybe over here I've got some telephone poles. All of my points have to go back to that vanishing point. So maybe this one starts right here. You guys know what telephone poles look like. So this one might be right here, and it's going to get a little further away, but it's going to stay inside my lines. And this one's going to get a little bit closer because it's going to look like it's further away. See how they look like they go into the distance?
Yeah.
So I might just have to do these when they come back here.
Close.
Little teeny tinies.
Whoa.
So you can draw trees in here that point to your horizon line. So that's what these steps are showing. They might not show you with those points, but I showed you a different way to do it. So now I want to draw mountains. So if I take a look here, I don't have to draw my mountains on the vanishing point. I'm just going to draw them overlapping each other. So maybe I make some mountains in front and some mountains in the back. Maybe it's got some snow and some clouds. So these clouds would be really big over the mountains. And maybe these mountains are so high that it's got some little clouds that come in front of the mountains. Maybe there's some low clouds that go in front of the mountains. Maybe there's some snow on top of my mountains. So if you take a look, if I was going to draw a car, the one that's here, a car, might look like this. A car here might only look like this. Really tiny. So it just depends on where you're at. Are you guys ready to try?
Yes.
I think you are. We're going to get a practice paper. I did post on Google Classroom this exact sheet for you. So if you are looking for this and you want to see this, it's okay. This is our practice paper today. Tomorrow, we're going to do one on good paper, and we're going to paint it sometime later this week. So let me stop our recording. Stop.